Abrams a 2. Thanks, Mitch. What is your opinion on why Bigfoot is so good at finding video equipment, i.e. game cameras, live feed, etc.? I've even noticed that they are able to locate the devices that you planted, the listening devices which you planted. Thanks. That's a good question. I've been working on that for a long time. When I first started out, I had the old flasher type game cameras, and they were actually successful for a couple of times. And then they learned, and then they were totally avoided. But I can see why, because the flashers, it's just, can you imagine walking through the forest and your eyes are totally adjusted to the dark and you're cruising along and all of a sudden, flash! That hurts. Yeah, they would avoid those. So I changed over to some newer Bushnells that used IR lighting and digital, and started doing video because the flash photography is really limited. You can't really pick up movement or anything like that. So I started using digital, and of course those were successful a couple of times, and then pretty soon they got used to those and started avoiding those. Never did get a real super, portrait studio type photo or video, and I'm still working on that. But these Bushnells, they had the typical IR emitters, and that glow cherry red on the camera, and they're only good for about 45 feet, and then after that it's too dark to see anything. So I thought, well, perhaps they're seeing the IR light itself, and so I was just trying to figure out how to fix that by possibly hooking up a flash bar of IR lights, and then when I hear them, I can turn on the flash bar on the trailer, which would light up an area about 50 yards away, which means that if they're in the range of a game camera, it would light them up too. And of course that didn't work. So then they came out with this new blackout technology camera. Promos is one of them, and Multi-Air is the other. And they claim that you cannot see the IR emitters, that they're invisible, but they still emit IR. And they also claim that they're noiseless because it's all digital. So I put those out, and believe it or not, they were successful capturing a few strange things, and then that dried up too. Haven't been too successful with that. So I'm kind of thinking, well, perhaps they can't see the IR lit up area, and the blackout technology fixes it to where they can't see the cherry red glow. They can't hear it. So therefore, what senses are they using to detect them? And that narrows it really down to just a few things, and one of them we've never thought of before. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. But one of the things is they might be smelling the cameras. They might have a sense of smell strong enough to be able to detect the plastic odor or our scent on the cameras. Now, I've tried descenting the cameras, and that has not worked at all either. So I don't think it's necessarily the scent. And that narrows it down to they're either using another sense to detect the cameras, or the simplest would be that they're watching us put them up. And, their observation is so keen that they know exactly what we're doing and where we're doing it, and the word gets spread. The other sense that is a very good possibility, and I'm just now starting to think about that, is a lot of times when I'm sitting there in my trailer and I have heard Whistler and Hooter and Squeaker come down the hill, and it's dark, and the pine trees are tall, and it blocks out any starlight or moonlight, and so in a lot of cases you can't see the hand in front of your face, but they're coming down the hillside, so they probably have very good eyesight at night. That doesn't mean they're seeing in infrared or ultraviolet or anything like that. What it possibly could be is, since I'm hearing them, they're doing their thing. Whistler's whistling, Hooter's hooting, and Squeaker's squeaking. Could this possibly be some kind of sonar activity? Now, I know some blind humans can use sound detection to locate things like telephone poles and so forth. So if you're living your life as a nocturnal animal, could they develop a type of sonar that's peculiar to them, and in this particular way they can hear each other's sonars and kind of get like a 3D picture of the forest as they're going down through it? That might be a possibility, and that's going to take a lot of study to try to figure that one out. You made mention of the listening device, or the sound activated recorder that I put out, and how they found it. And yeah, they did find it, which kind of sheds some light on the cameras themselves, because this listening device, or this recording device, is very small. It makes no noise. It's all digital, and it had no flashing lights on it, because I had taped or put a piece of tape over anything that would possibly give off any illumination. And then when I put it in between two tree roots and completely covered it up with leaves, so it was not visible. So that means that the only thing they could have done was either smell it or saw me put it there. So, that's what kind of leads me to believe that they're pretty good at watching us and paying attention to what we're doing. Well, let's face it, their lives depend upon it. So they get very good at it, But it's boiling down to, right now, the easiest and most simple answer would be they just are flat watching us put up the cameras, and they just don't go there. So, thanks for the good question.